Boruto chapter 87 has revealed the dark reality about omnipotence. Everyone keeps forgetting when they are made aware of the truth, and Boruto is all okay with that. On top of it, it seems like the next chapter will mark the death or more possibly removal of someone from the story for a very solid reason. Keeping that for later, something I really appreciate about Boruto's time skip are the efforts of Kishimoto to make it way better than Naruto's time skip. People had been complaining over Naruto barely progressing as a shinobi over the time jump. His mastery of the giant Rasengan was not enough to satisfy the fandom, and the way he relied too much on Kurama only added fuel to the fire. The author definitely listened to the criticism and implied his learnings in the most awaited time skip of Boruto. The young lord returns with Kenjutsu, Purple Lightning, Flying Thunder God, and evolved Rasengan, and doesn't even rely on the Kama, Jogan, and even the Shadow clones. Some people even think it ruined the world building of Kishimoto by making the MC more powerful than most of the OG characters. While it does make sense to some extent, the greater reason behind leveling up Boruto so much has something to do with the Otsutsuki expansion of the series. Characters like Daemon and Aida were introduced to set the bar for Boruto, and now that he has surpassed both Kawaki and Code in base form, it makes him ready for the actual nuisances from the outer space. In other words, the story is heading beyond planet Earth, which is why Boruto was made so broken. The new villains that are about to appear in the story are going to be a lot more overpowered than him, such as Shibai or Suzuki, who could be the final boss of the story. This chapter, which is titled Whereabouts of the Sun, unveils the true potential of Boruto and how far ahead he has went. Almost all attacks of Mitsuki were effortlessly dodged by him, and for those who say the show is no longer about ninjas, we even get to see Boruto throwing some shurikens at Mitsuki, meaning that he still respects his shinobi roots. As I already predicted in my older videos, Mitsuki was absolutely no match for him, and what's more interesting is that he himself confirmed it in this chapter by stating that Kawaki right now is no match for Boruto just cause he was able to deal with limitless code. This makes Boruto the strongest Kama user right now, and the fact that he achieved all these feats without using the Kama seal is really incredible. He was able to learn and perfectly apply whatever Sasuke taught him during the time skip period, which means the real deal begins when he activates the Kama. The power boost of the Otsutsuki seal is enormous, and by looking at how far Boruto has come without using it, the day he activates it will definitely change everything in the story. Mainly because there is a good amount of chance for the Jogan to appear, cause for some reasons, I believe it's synchronized with the Kama. You can find out more in this video. Coming back to the chapter, Mitsuki tried his absolute best against Boruto, and we have to give him credit for this. From the shadow snakes to full-on ramp attacks, he did not leave a stone unturned to gain an edge, but Boruto was amusingly unbothered. Now here comes the detail that I believe has foreshadowed the death of Mitsuki in the next chapter. Remember how we said Boruto is about Kawaki and Code, who are literally Otsutsuki level opponents. If Boruto can easily deal with both of them, this means he must be capable of finishing Mitsuki as well. So what if Mitsuki knew this fact, and while approaching Boruto, he saw this battle as a death match, a fight where his chances to survive are pretty slim, but just for the sake of his son, he decided to do it. A point to be noted is that Mitsuki sees Boruto as pre-omnipotence Kawaki, and if he was actually fighting this person, there is no way he would have spared Mitsuki's life. This means the son of Orochimaru was fully ready to die here. In a pre-omnipotence scenario, he would have definitely lost his life against Kawaki. Now what if Mitsuki's death actually turns canon for a few solid reasons? There was an obvious pattern going on with the Boruto manga, with a character dying or getting sealed on every double-digit chapter, starting off with chapter 22 all the way up to chapter 77 when Naruto and Hinata were sent to another dimension. If Kishimoto continues to follow this analogy, then we can expect someone to die or get removed from the story in the next chapter, cause technically it's the 88th chapter of the whole series. So other than Mitsuki, there is another character in my mind whom I think can lose their life in the next chapter, but I will keep that for the end of this video. Talking about Mitsuki, Boruto straightforwardly told him that the light of his son has started to diminish, and it's because Kawaki is not his son at all. His real son who enlightens him and gives him purpose is actually Boruto, and he must have realized this as well, not only because his snakes are hesitant to bite him, but also cause he was the only person who held a spiritual connection with Boruto. Towards the end of this chapter, Mitsuki is no longer desperate to kill Boruto, and by looking at what was just revealed, there is a good amount of chance for Mitsuki to confront Kawaki after this, cause unlike the other people whose memories get rewatched whenever they have a doubt about omnipotence, he has some solid proofs to conclude Kawaki is not his son, which are his own feelings. As Momoshiki explained, it's the change of perception of everybody which makes the effects of omnipotence irreversible. Mitsuki being one of the very few people who feel Kawaki is not the son of Hokage increase his chances of opposing the fraud. As for Sasuke, his belief in Boruto is based out of pure faith. He might still see him as Naruto's killer, but the trust that he had in his daughter made him resilient to the harsh effects of omnipotence. As Boruto himself said, this power makes the victims ignore and forget the contradictory details. Sasuke's resilience to this spell is really an impressive feat. Coming back to Mitsuki, what if he returns to Konoha in the next chapter to confront Kawaki, but the curse of the double-digit analogy will get him sealed forever? It makes sense cause Kawaki can't take the risk of letting a liability be around, and when he realizes that Mitsuki has learned the truth, he won't spare a second to seal him. This would put Mitsuki to a deep rest, and just cause omnipotence is continuously rewriting everyone's memories, Kawaki's save time will increase by a huge margin. Now that we know there is a huge possibility of Mitsuki to vanish from the story in the next chapter, one thing that I can't stop thinking about is Boruto telling Mitsuki that he is the real son. If I remember correctly, Mitsuki kept the sun-moon connection hidden from almost everyone, especially Boruto. So how did Boruto figure this out? Is there some high-level omnipresent thing going on, or did Koji spy on each of his friends the entire time? Well, I believe this might be a hint of Boruto's secret alliance with Orochimaru. He could be the one who unveiled the truth of Mitsuki to Boruto and how his snakes won't attack him. Maybe Kashin Koji seeked refuge to Orochimaru's hideout after escaping from Ishiki, and that's how they found Boruto. It would be really symbolic for him to get trained by the former masters of Naruto and Sasuke. Let me know your thoughts on this possibility and if I should bring a full video on this. Something that I found really heartbreaking about this chapter is Boruto's acceptance of omnipotence and how he cannot change his fate no matter what. Shikamaru might have used his intellect to break out of this spell, but unless he puts his faith on Boruto religiously like Sasuke, there is a good amount of chance that he will forget it, leaving Boruto helpless again. Although he doesn't need any help right now, just because he has accepted his life as a rogue ninja, losing a potential ally from omnipotence is really a tragic thing to begin with, and it shows that how dark the fate of Boruto is about to get from this point. I'm working on a video where I explain why Momoshiki's prophecy might be incomplete, and Boruto is still bound to lose a lot more from this point. Let me know your thoughts on this possibility in the comments so that I can discuss them in that video. If Mitsuki ends up switching sides, then I believe the only other person who could take Boruto's stand regardless of omnipotence is Himawari. The first chapter reveals she believes Boruto is innocent, which means for some reasons only her memories were affected and not her feelings. It would be cool to see her backstabbing Kawaki, and I feel like there is a good reason for her character to take that path. Even though Boruto still wants to resolve this conflict as brothers, the prologue scene confirms he will get over this misunderstanding that Kawaki will turn a new leaf. And since he is the counterpart of Ishiki or Suzuki, who was betrayed by Kaguya back in the day, a lot of hints indicate Himawari to be the closest to the Rabbit Princess, meaning that history will repeat itself, leaving Kawaki betrayed by the hands of Boruto's sister. Looking at these analogies, I wonder if Ishiki and Kaguya also had some kind of fated legacy where the dominant of Suzuki did something to Kaguya's brother, which laid the foundation of their betrayal saga. The concept of destinies repeating is a vital part of Boruto's plot, as seen with Kashin Koji following the footsteps of Jiraiya and training the savior of the world. Following this pattern, Boruto being the reincarnation of some other Otsutsuki like Shibai is also a huge possibility. It explains why he shares so many similarities with him, like the horn, Uzuhiko and the Jogan Eye. Anyway, back to the chapter, we get to see Jura enlightening himself with knowledge and dropping some hard quotes. He's about to go and search for Naruto to find out why he's nowhere to be seen, which means the next chapter could also mark the beginning of the Shinju invasion. Even though the pacing of this chapter wasn't as fast as the previous ones, I really believe it has provided us many dots to predict the major twists and turns in the story. I can't cover them all in a single video, so let's conclude this one with why I believe Sarada could die, or more possibly get sealed in the future. So there have been two major hints for Sarada getting troubled in the future. Boruto asked her to remain alive, and then in a later chapter he was about to take someone's name he needs to save, but just at the last moment he swallowed his words. The point is that immediately after this statement, Boruto said, "Never mind, I will be back." This could mean that he has seen some future where Sarada gets killed, and since there is a Shinju who has specifically made her his target, she could be the one to lose her life on a double-digit number. Like if it's not 88, which might be the one where Boruto loses Mitsuki, it could be chapter 99. A majority of fandom believes Hidari will switch sides, but if the complete opposite happens, then I think Boruto is about to lose way more than what omnipotence took away from him. If it's not her death, then she could be the target of Kawaki when he goes on his shinobi rampage. Eventually all the shinobis could get sent to the Daikokuten, explaining how Kawaki becomes the eclipse on Boruto's life, and in order to dispel this darkness, he will be left with no other choice except using the Pure Eye Jogan. I will be back with some more interesting stuff very soon. Till then, check out these videos for more amazing Boruto content. I will see you next time.